Carol Queen is a sex-positive feminist who has made it her personal and professional mission to make intersectional sex ed accessible to everyone. She is a sociologist and cultural sexologist with a bachelor's in sociology from the University of Oregon and a PhD in sexology from the Institute for Advanced Study of Human Sexuality. Queen has worked as a speaker, sex educator, sex worker, activist, and accomplished author. Queen has written 4 books and writes for the Good Vibes blog, as well as having published many other award-winning editorials, essays, erotica stories, and interviews. Queen was born in Oregon in 1957 and first found an interest in sex-positive activism and education while attending college. There she was the director of the Gay and Lesbian Student Union, and later helped found Gay Youth, which was one of the first groups for underage gays and lesbians in the U.S. Additionally, Queen was on the steering committee of the Eugene Citizens for Human Rights, which was founded to preserve gay rights, and served as the director of education at the community-based AIDS Education and Support Project, also in Eugene. In the 1970s, Queen moved to San Francisco to continue learning about alternative sexuality. In 1997, Queen and her partner, Dr. Robert Lawrence, who is also a sexologist, founded the Center for Sex and Culture, a nonprofit sexuality education center. The Center for Sex and Culture has helped people of all genders and orientations by creating a space that fosters learning, intimacy, and community. The mission of the Center for Sex and Culture is to provide judgment-free education, cultural events, a library media archive, and other resources to audiences across the gender and sexual spectrum, and to research and disseminate factual information, framing, and informing issues of public policy and public health. Unfortunately, the Center for Sex and Culture's physical space was closed in January 2019 due to a raise in the building's rent. Regardless of the loss of the physical building, the center's volunteer staff will continue to organize community outreach through social media, podcasts, and pop-up events. The extensive library at the Center for Sex and Culture, which housed over 3,600 books, artworks, and periodicals, has recently been acquired by Harvard and Radcliffe universities in recognition of Queen's work. The center's library stored information on the living history of the LGBT community in San Francisco, and Queen hopes that it will be used in the future to inform social rules about issues of consent, sexuality, LGBT rights, and the orgasm gap, and more. Queen said of the archive, "I was never trained to create an archive, but I kept all of this stuff because I knew it would allow people in the future to understand how all of these communities lived." Queen currently lives in San Francisco and has been working at Good Vibrations since 1990. Good Vibrations is an SF-based, women-owned, worker-owned sex toy and book emporium. She wears many hats at Good Vibrations, including staff sexologist, chief cultural officer, Good Vibrations historian, the author of the Good Vibes blog, and of course, the curator for their antique vibrator museum. Carol Queen has already made waves in the academic world and the Bay Area LGBT communities, so I can only imagine how her work will impact the future of sexual health education and activism. To find out more about Carol Queen and the sex-positive community she's creating, you can check her out at her personal website at carolqueen.com or the Good Vibes blog at goodvibesblog.com. Or you can just go visit her while you take a tour at the Good Vibrations Antique Vibrator Museum in San Francisco.